Welcome to Book by Book. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating, sometimes controversial text, Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power.
Yeah, it's definitely a book that gets people talking. Published back in '98, Greene basically distilled, 3,000 years of history?
Right, philosophy, strategy, figures like Machiavelli, Caesar, you name it. He boiled all that down into these 48 specific laws.
And it's easy to hear that title, The 48 Laws of Power, and think, oh, this is just about being ruthless, manipulative.
Exactly, but that kind of misses the core idea, doesn't it? Greene's central point is that power itself is neutral. It's just there, like a tool.
Right, like fire. Fire can cook your food, keep you warm, or it can burn everything down. The book isn't necessarily telling you to be ruthless.
It's more about making you aware of the strategies people use, the power dynamics constantly at play, so you're not naive.
Precisely. It's about strategic awareness, whether you
Yeah.
use it defensively or, well, offensively. Knowing the rules of the game.
So our mission today, here on Book by Book, is to filter through these 48 laws and pull out the most practical, maybe life-changing ones for you. How to understand the game, protect yourself, and, build real influence.
Okay, where do we start? Usually the first minefield is dealing with people above you, right? Your superiors.
Yeah, exactly. How do you get ahead without making your boss jealous or insecure? That brings us straight to Law 1, never outshine the master.
Ah, yes. This one trips people up all the time. You think being brilliant and capable will get you rewarded, but sometimes it just makes the person in charge feel threatened.
Greene uses the example of Nicolas Fouquet, Louis XIV's finance minister. Remember that story?
Oh yeah, the infamous party.
Yeah.
Fouquet throws this incredibly lavish party trying to impress the king.
But it backfires spectacularly. The king sees all this wealth and display, feels totally overshadowed, and boom, Fouquet ends up in prison.
And that dynamic, that insecurity, it's still very much alive today. In the office, maybe you're constantly correcting your manager in meetings or showing off how much more you know.
You think you're helping, but you're actually making them look bad or feel bad.
Exactly. The goal isn't to be incompetent, obviously. It's to be indispensable, but in a way that doesn't feel like a direct challenge. You make sure they look good.
It's like being the moon reflecting the sun's light, maybe. You shine, but you don't try to be the sun.
That's a great analogy. So, okay, you've managed not to alienate your boss. You're secure, for now. What's next for self-protection?
Well, protecting your future plans. That takes us to Law 3, conceal your intentions.
Right. If you lay out your entire master plan from day one, you give everyone, rivals, critics, even nervous allies, a chance to undermine it before you even get started.
Greene points to Otto von Bismarck, the guy who unified Germany. His real goal was huge, almost unthinkable at the time.
But he never just announced it. He played things close to the chest. Lots of short-term moves, shifting alliances. It always looked like he was just reacting to events.
Until suddenly Germany was unified, and it was too late for other powers to stop it, because they never saw the full picture.
It's like a poker player, isn't it? You don't show your hand. Today, maybe you're launching a startup. You share enough to get funding, to get key people on board.
But the secret sauce, the really disruptive part of your vision, you keep that under wraps, at least from potential competitors.
Yeah. Reveal only what's necessary. Maintain a bit of mystery.
Okay, so we've covered not outshining the boss and keeping your cards hidden, but hiding all the time isn't the goal either, is it? The book actually says obscurity is dangerous.
Absolutely. If no one knows who you are, you have no influence. Which leads us to Law 6. Court attention at all costs.
This feels almost counterintuitive after Law 3.
It does, but it's about balance. Once you're navigating things carefully, you need visibility. Greene argues that being talked about, even if it's sometimes negative, is way better than being completely ignored.
Like P.T. Barnum, the circus guy. He was a master of publicity. Scandals, sensationalism, anything to keep his name out there.
Right. He understood that attention itself was valuable. In our world, especially online, this is all about personal branding, isn't it?
Totally. You have to put yourself out there. Publish things, speak up, share what you know, be visible. Consistently.
It's like a lighthouse. It stays put, but its light is constant. People know it's there. They rely on it.
Okay, but gaining attention often means attracting enemies or competitors. And that sets up one of the book's really challenging laws, Law 15, crush your enemy. Totally.
Yeah, this one makes people uncomfortable. And understandably so. Greene's point here is purely strategic, though. He argues that showing mercy in a power struggle often backfires.
Oh, so?
Because if you leave an enemy only half defeated, you give them the chance to recover, regroup, and come back seeking revenge. often with more intensity.
The historical example is Rome and Carthage. After repeated wars, the Romans eventually decided they had to completely destroy Carthage. Salt the earth, the whole thing.
Brutal, but it ended the threat permanently.
Yeah.
Now, the modern application is trickier, right? You
Well,
can't exactly salt the earth of your business competitor.
right. It doesn't total destruction just make you look unstable, make others afraid to deal with you?
That's the nuance, I think. It's less about emotional annihilation and more about strategic neutralization. So in a business deal, you make sure it's ironclad, no loopholes. You remove any way for the competitor to easily counterattack or undo the deal later.
So it's about removing the future threat, pulling the weed out by the roots, not just cutting the top off.
Exactly. Address the core problem so it can't just grow back immediately. Be thorough.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's shift gears a bit. From dealing with rivals to influencing people more generally, this gets into understanding what makes people tick. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew.
Yeah, the psychological angle. Everyone, according to Greene, has a vulnerability, a weak spot. It could be insecurity, greed, ego, a deep-seated fear.
And if you can identify that lever, that thumbscrew, you can influence them much more effectively because you're tapping into their core motivations.
Fernand Richelieu in France was supposedly brilliant at this. He didn't just rely on his official power. He gathered information debts, affairs, secrets on the nobles he needed to control.
So how do you find someone's thumbscrew today? You can't exactly hire spies.
No. It's more about observation. How do they react under pressure? What gets them defensive? What do they boast about? What are they secretly insecure about? Listen more than you talk.
So in sales, for example, you try to figure out why the client really wants something. Is it status, security, saving face?
Exactly. Finding that real driver is like finding the password to their decision-making process.
Okay, influencing others is one thing, but what about protecting your own power and independence? That brings us to Law 40, despise the free lunch.
Crucial one. Basically, anything that seems too good to be true, especially if it's free, probably comes with hidden strings attached.
Like someone offering financial help or a big opportunity you didn't really earn.
Yeah, those things often create an obligation. The giver expects something back later, maybe control or loyalty, that compromises your freedom. True power, Greene argues, is built on paying your own way.
The metaphor he uses is perfect. Free cheese only exists in a mousetrap.
Love that one. So, for you listening, the practical takeaway is invest in yourself. Pay for the course, pay for the training, build your own skills and resources, rather than relying on handouts that might cost you your autonomy down the line.
Makes sense. Build your own foundation. Okay, one last law we should touch on, especially relevant in today's fast-changing world. Law 48. Assume formlessness.
This is about adaptability. Rigidity makes you predictable. And if you're predictable, you're easy to attack or outmaneuver.
So you need to be fluid, changeable.
Exactly. Like water, as Bruce Lee famously said, de-water, my friend. Water takes the shape of its container, it flows around obstacles, it's hard to grasp.
You see this in business all the time, don't you? Companies that adapt thrive.
Absolutely. Think about Netflix shifting from DVDs to streaming. That's formlessness in action. Companies that were too rigid, that clung to the old model. Well, where are they now?
Blockbuster comes to mind.
Precisely. Being adaptable, unpredictable, able to pivot. That's key for long-term survival and success.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground. From managing bosses to hiding plans, seeking attention, dealing with enemies, influencing people, staying independent, and being adaptable. Let's try to boil this down. What are the key actionable takeaways for someone listening right now?
All right, let's recap. First, support your boss's image. Don't make them insecure. Second, keep your big, long-term goals private. Reveal only what's needed for the next step.
Third, stay visible. Publish, speak, show up. Your reputation matters. Fourth, when you tackle a problem or a threat, deal with it completely. Remove the roots.
Fifth, understand what really motivates people. Find that thumbscrew, their core driver. Sixth, pay your own way. Avoid those free traps that create obligation. Value your independence.
And seventh, stay adaptable. Be like water. Rigidity is weakness in a changing world.
And maybe the biggest underlying theme connecting all of this is that human nature, while complex, is also kind of predictable. People are often driven by fear, ego, insecurity, desire.
So knowing these laws isn't just about wielding power, it's also a shield. It helps you recognize when these tactics are being used on you, so you're less likely to be manipulating.
Exactly. It's defensive knowledge, too. Okay, quick fire. Top 5 lessons from today. 1. Don't outshine the master. 2. Keep true goals hidden. 3. Attention equals power be visible. 4. Crush problems fully, no half measures. 5. Be water, stay adaptable and unpredictable.
The 48 Laws of Power. It's definitely a challenging read, but it offers this incredibly detailed map for navigating a competitive world. It really can empower you to, well, play smarter.
And leave you with a thought to chew on. That idea of unpredictability.
Right, we mentioned that quote, keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Now, terror sounds extreme, but think about the subtle power of just not being easily predicted.
How can disrupting expectations, even in small ways, protect your position or just give you more space to operate without needing big dramatic moves?
Maybe it's changing a routine slightly or suddenly showing a skill people didn't know you had. What's one small way you could be less predictable this week?
Something to think about. We hope this summary from Book by Book gives you a bit of a strategic edge.
Thank you for joining us for this book by book summary. We'll catch you on the next one.